Hi, welcome to the Hungry Bookworm. Today we're outside, so everything's a little topsy-turvy. And why are we out here? Well, my bookworm had this silly idea that he's psychic. And he told me that he could predict when a leaf would fall out of the tree and what color it would be. Well, the leaf falling, he's not getting so right. But the color he gets every single time because he says brown. And they're all brown. Anyway, why in the world does my bookworm think this? Well, then I found out that he read Forget Tomorrow by Pintip Dunn. Pintip Dunn has written several series. She's a New York best-selling author, and this book has won the Rita Award from the Romance Writers of America. Pintip Dunn gave me this book. Thank you very much. I like it. And my favorite part, and this might sound superficial, is the cover. I don't know if you can see, but there's a big bird wing with lots of little dark ravens in the background carrying the wing. But the best is you open it up. It's a big, gigantic bird. And when you look inside, there's feathers at the beginning of every chapter. I love illustrations. I think all books should have illustrations, not just children books. So I love it when I see things like this. This book is the first in the series. Remember Yesterday came out a couple months ago. That was the second book. There's a prequel, I believe, coming out in a couple months. And the third book in the series will come out in October 2017, I'm told. This book is a young adult dystopian, which means it takes place in the future with an evil government. Think Hunger Games, Divergent, and you get the picture. The main character in this book is named Callie, and she just turned 17. In this society, when you turn 17, you have the honor of receiving a memory from your future self. The idea behind it is illustrated, for example, in the hero Logan. He receives the memory that he is going to be a gold medalist swimmer, which means he can now spend his life, instead of doing something that's worthless, on concentrating on his skills as a swimmer. Callie loves to cook, and she's pretty good at it. She's convinced that she's going to become a renowned international chef. So she sits down in her chair, ready for this wonderful thought, and instead she gets the vision of her plunging a needle and killing her sister. Well, Callie is devastated because she loves her sister to death and she can't imagine that she would ever do anything like that. Well, the worst problem is, however, that Callie is now a future criminal. Now, the government doesn't want future criminals running around. And although Callie hasn't done anything wrong at all yet, they arrest her and throw her into a really, really, really gross, disgusting, it's just awful prison. Well, that's where the book starts. And it goes pretty action-packed to the end. I say pretty action-packed because Pintip Dunn is a very elegant writer. She has poetic feeling to her words and her things. There's a lot of character depth, beautiful scenes, and she takes a little bit more time than a regular action novel, but it's by no means boring. Instead, it's a joy to read. This is not the first book I've read by Pintip Dunn, and I always love her writing style. There are also scientific or science fiction elements. Think time travel, obviously the memory from the future self. Now, this is a sticky topic to handle, in my opinion. You've got the area of paradoxes and so many unknowns because we've never time traveled. And in my opinion, this book does have some pretty big logic holes. I couldn't follow the reasoning behind everything. I do believe, however, that in the next book there will be some of that covered, and the prequel is probably a great idea because I'm hoping that some of that's covered in there as well. This is a packed novel in the sense that you not only have the scientific time travel idea, you've got psychics running around. You have an evil government who wants to control everybody running around. And you have a romance. Now, the romance is kind of a little bitish of a first love kind of thing. You see him, you fall in love, but not completely. There's nice enough friendship thrown in that it keeps a really good pace and it isn't too instant or cheesy or cliche. It's really a beautiful book for the romance. This book is something that dystopian fans, as I said, Hunger Games, Divergent, people would like, with a little less fighting and gore and more romance. This one's a little heavier on the romance end. So we're going to have to go chase my bookworm down because he is still back there. I can hear him counting and he's still trying to predict leaves. So I'm going to go find him and hopefully drag him in because honestly, I'm getting a little bit hungry. But we'll see you next time. And until then, don't forget to feed your bookworm.